Lovely to see so many bright, smiley, shiny faces. And it's nearly Christmas, which is amazing news. Um, I guess I need to introduce myself. My name's Greta Westwood, and I'm the Chief Exec of the Florence Nightingale Foundation. And the first thing I want to say is so well done. This has been an amazing year for all of you. And I know that you started the programme so many months ago, but thank you so much for your patience with us and keep going, really, because that you could have easily dropped off along the way, but you didn't, which is why you're here today. And the other thing to say is I'm so sad we're not all in the same room together, really experiencing each other. And I don't know, how many days, Gemma, did they even have together?
We did manage the welcome day, and then and it was interesting because we were all talking about what was happening, and obviously no clue of what was coming at that point. So yeah, we managed the welcome day, and then since then everything's been virtual.
Oh, well, really well done for keeping with it. The virtual world is something we've got used to over the last 6 to 9 months, and it wasn't ever our preference, but we absolutely wanted to finish this program. So Gemma and the team, who's seen, as I can see, he's on the call this morning, have done an amazing job trying to sort out how do we do your program virtually. So fantastic, great, and I'm really looking forward to hearing the presentations a bit later on. So the other thing to say about you all, of course, is that you're amazing. You were picked out because you're amazing. You've done the most amazing leadership program with us, and really amazing because you've actually finished. And I guess really amazing because you put yourself forward. You're great already, but you wanted to be even better. So thank you for that. I wondered about how much you knew about the Sandra Charitable Trust. Probably not. You might have seen it on your programme at some point, but you might have thought, what on earth is this? So my role as the Chief Exec is to really make relationships with the sponsors. So those are the funders of our programmes. And the Sandra Charitable Trust funded this programme on behalf of the nurses and midwives in the South East. And a little bit about their background, because when this is all finished and when Gemma has done the evaluation of the programme, I would love it if we could invite Richard Moore, who's our main contact at the Sandra Charitable Trust, to hear some of the stories about the impact your work has had on the patients and the people that you look after. And I think it's really important for them, because they get to see me and they speak to Gemma and they email Gemma, but actually to see the US beneficiaries of the money that they've invested in this program would be amazing. So watch this space. It might be a face-to-face thing, so a bit later on we'll manage this. But the Sandra Charitable Trust was set up in about 1987, and of the many organisations it benefits, one of its purposes is to benefit nurses, those with a disability, not nurses with a disability, others with a disability. So nurses, people with a disability, people in education, animals, and heritage organisations. So it's a grant giving organisation to charities. So individuals can't apply for grants, but charities like us can apply for grants, and hence they've been so generous over the last few years. And actually, the office that manages this money on behalf of the person who left them the money, and that guy was somebody who was a youngish man who died of cancer, and he was so he had so much respect for nurses, and he felt that they had a bit of a raw deal, and he wanted to leave some of his money, to nurses so that they could go on holiday. But he was persuaded that probably wasn't the best use of his money. So in the early days, they funded travel scholarships. So people did go overseas, but obviously they were looking at some aspect of nursing midwifery care. And in the last so you are the first cohort of 3 years worth of money. And probably about a year ago, I asked if we could convert that travel scholarship money to a leadership program for newly registered nurses and midwives. And in the case of your cohort, it was band 5 and 6 nurses and midwives. So I would love it that he hears, it's a family affair. If he and his son, who are trustees of the charity, could hear some of the impacts that their money has had on patients and healthcare. So what are my messages for you today? My messages are that I really want you to find out something that makes your heart sing. And by that I mean is me writing emails to hundreds of funders every single day does not make my heart sing. But what makes my heart sing is when I get an email back and they say, yes, we will fund a leadership program or a scholarship, because I know the impact that those programs have. So writing the email doesn't make my heart sing, but what makes my heart sing is seeing 20, 30 nurses on a program like this, where it's really going to make a difference to your leadership journey. And I guess the other thing about that is what is your passion? What have you found recently? Maybe it's been part of this leadership program, that it's something that you want to hang on to, because once you find your passion, you can never let it go, because it is kind of instructs your work, the stuff that you do at work, but also at your home. And I think you're amazing. You've done an amazing job. You're on a beginning of a journey, and Gemma and I would love it if some of you at some point, the next part of your leadership journey is apply for our scholarships. So they're advertised every year. We've got some out at advert at the moment, but probably the best thing is to consolidate what it is that you've learned in this program, and hopefully we'll see you again on our scholarship program. I wanted, all of you would have heard of Steve Jobs, I'm absolutely certain, but he, if any of you listen to TED Talks, you get your inspiration about leadership journeys from TED Talks. There's often quoted a speech that he said to a group of students in 2005, and he'd recently been diagnosed with cancer. He'd been sacked, or he'd left at the Apple earlier on, and then he got a diagnosis of cancer, and it really made him reflect on his life. But one of the things that he said, which I think resonates today, because of your learning, because of everything that you found out today, and I know we've got lots of testimonials from others on leadership programs where, you know, people say they used to be in the corners of the room and now they're on the stage. And I'm hoping that some of the impact that this has had on you means that you found your voice, that you don't feel that you're only a nurse or only a midwife or only a band 5 or only band 6. Actually, you've got a life, and this is your life to live, particularly in your nursing midwifery career. So Steve Jobs said, your time is limited, so don't waste living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. So amazing. I'm really amazing. I want you to, I really looking forward to the rest of the morning and your presentations. I know it was a hard job for Gemma and Claire to choose, but I've seen the title, so I'm really looking forward to hearing that.